Scott here. It's been a while since my last video. It's time to do another one. And today I thought what we would do is try to take what's a pretty good image. I like the reflection we have here, but the sky this day was just boring and I want to put in a nicer sky, mask something in. And so I'll show you how I do that and the tools that I use. Ultimately, it's not so much the tools, it's making sure that you pay attention to the details and try and choose something that's going to match the scene. So let's go into it. All right, so we've brought the image into the Perfect Photo Suite. This is the tool I use for doing masking and layering. I don't own Photoshop, and this suits my needs perfectly. The layering tool is actually free from On1, so you can grab that as a free download. It's a great add-in for Aperture because it doesn't have layering. But again, this is about the technique and how to deal with substituting in the sky and taking care of the details in the other parts of the image. So whatever tool set you use is fine, so long as you get the results that you want. So I've done a very minor bit of touch-up in here. I've added a little bit of orange glow. I accentuate that sunlight. This was taken in the morning, and so the sun was still lower in the sky. Bring out the oranges in the mountains. And I want to get a new sky here. So the On1 suite comes with a handful of backgrounds and skies and so forth. And I'm going to try out this one here. The blue is a little darker than what I had that day, but the lower portion of it, which is the cloud areas I want to try out. As soon as I move my mouse, it goes away. These low clouds here, that's what I want to have in the image. So let me bring that in as a new layer, and we'll position it and start masking. So I'll position the bottom edge about where the horizon would have been, or is actually, right about there. And I'm not going to worry about scaling it out because I'm only concerned with this small section where the mountain cuts down and we had blank blue sky. So we'll put that there. That looks fine. And we will bring it beneath that current layer. Of course, we can't see it right now because this top layer is masking it. But if I were just to prove the point, we can see that that's about where the clouds are going to show up. So maybe we'll take this up just a little bit higher and get a little more of those clouds there. That looks good. Okay, I'll bring back up the opacity layer here. Now, before I go into masking, the other thing I like to do is I need to deal with this reflection. So I'm going to have clouds up here. If I don't take care of the reflective water, it's not going to look right. Your eyes and your brain is going to reject the image. So let's turn off our top layer. I'm going to bring in skies again, adding it as a second layer. This time, I want to invert it, so it's going to be reflected. I'm going to stretch it a little bit too, so that I get a little bit of that, distortion when I get it into the water. And now we'll bring it down into position, somewhere around here. It doesn't have to be dead on, but enough where we'll start to see these clouds show up in our water. Maybe stretch it a little bit this way to get a kind of a motion feel. So we'll do that. Let's position that for now and bring it beneath our layer, turn our top layer on, and let's get a quick preview of where we, wrong layer, where we might be seeing those clouds come into the water. That's actually going to look pretty good. So we can see we'll get that reflection right here in this triangular area. That's looking pretty good. All right, now we need to deal with the masking. So I'm going to pop over into the Perfect Mask tool and work on masking out the areas of the image we need to concern ourselves with. So I'll start with my basic remove brush, just do a swatch over the big blue area, and that's going to figure out most of it for me automatically. This edge is still rough, and I'm going to go in and clean that up with some of the other detailed tools here. I've got color pickers of what colors I want to keep, which colors I want to drop, and I can use this magic brush that will be color aware and get rid of things. And I'll also use this chisel tool to finally get it a little blurring and smoothness out there. You can see I've picked the colors I want to keep and the colors I want to drop. I won't bore you with the details of watching me mask a small line, so I'll be right back after I finish that masking touch-up. Okay, so we've cleaned up the edge on this mountain here, so the transition on the mask is much nicer. much smoother. So we're going to apply this and bring it back into the Layers tool. I'm not going to do the reflection part in Mask. I'm going to manage that more directly in Layers itself. So let's go ahead and do that. And so still working on our top layer, we'll get a masking brush. We're going to, nice low opacity, that's pretty good. Paint out. And I'm going to use this thing called the Perfect Brush, so it'll help me keep honest on these edges, so I don't have to worry about bleeding into the mountain or so forth. So we'll just start nice and slow, nice and smooth, just kind of painting around these blue areas here. And I'll go back and hit these upper areas again where I want to accentuate the clouds more. I don't want to lose too much of the reflection, seeing through the bottom of these weird, salt craters and things that are at the bottom of this basin. But I do want to bring out the clouds in this upper part where all I had before was just blank, boring blue sky. I always find that funny. I live in Southern California, so we have blue skies a lot. As a photographer, you get kind of bored with them and you really want a sky with character. So I've been trying to get better at doing techniques like this to remember that day I had great clouds, but I didn't have the camera, or vice versa. I had the camera and didn't have great clouds. So that's looking pretty good. And it's got some realism to it, where we have these clouds up here. They're going to be reflecting down in here. I might play around with the stretching on this a little bit to rein that back in. This looks a little bit too stretched out compared to what we have up here. Matter of fact, let's go see if we can just correct that right now. I can stretch it down this way a little bit and then bring it back up. So that's a little more symmetrical. This wasn't that steep of an angle, because we can see with the mountain we have a little distortion, but not a whole lot. So trying to mimic again that realism of reflecting something we're masking in and having it the same level of distortion, about the same level of color, giving a hint of what was in the sky here. So end result, we started here and we came to here. And I think this really does make the picture more complete. With the blank sky, I've got these wonderful leading lines. I got even the salt and the scrub, the reflection are all pointing over to this area, and my eyes come over here and I see nothing. And now I have some nice reflections going on. I have something to keep my eyes occupied once I get over there. The image feels more balanced. I hope you found this little tip useful. I look forward to seeing some of your work, so visit me at scottdavenportphoto.com. Leave a comment in YouTube here, on the blog, wherever you happen to catch me or read me. Looking forward to seeing your work. Thanks. Bye.